I would say history is underappreciated. And one of the benefits of the pandemic, if there was such a thing, was it gave me an opportunity to suspend my understanding of the world from the lens of being an economist and to think about the world from a historical context. And actually, I now much more believe that there are many aspects of history that do repeat themselves. As I intimated a moment ago, the Gilded Age, I think, is one of these things that we sort of go and look at beautiful homes and we forget that actually it was a period of a lot of globalization, enormous growth, unfortunately mass inequality, but in terms of real opportunity, the opportunity set, the role of government, role of private sector, it was really very similar to what we've experienced from 1950 to 2008. And that period was punctured by three things that happened in quick succession: a war, 1914 to 1918, a pandemic, 1918 to 1920, and then the crash of 1929, which just as a data point that keeps me very focused, my recollection is that the Dow Jones Industrials peaked at 381 points in 1929, and it never got to 381 again until 1954.
So you think we're in a pre-crash period?
I think we're in a period where there are a lot of structural effects, and yes, it's not precisely analogous because obviously we now have fiat currency, we have more different types of globalization, the systems are much more complex. But I think fundamentally, with 90% of the world's population living in the emerging markets, the fact that we now have, I think the estimate's around 100 million displaced people. I mean, these are unique aspects, notwithstanding AI and technology, which could be for better or for worse. Ideological splits between China, which I know we're going to get to, and the United States, deep ideological splits. We have a competitor technologically, militarily, and economically. I mean, these are things that make this environment, to me, much more testing. And maybe the last point I'll just say very quickly is because I live part of the time in Europe, looking at things like off-balance sheet debts, thinking about slow growth, a society broadly speaking that hasn't been very immigrant-focused, thinking about the dynamics there with a war going on there right now. I think these are aspects that are underappreciated, and I think history becomes underappreciated in how we end up with world wars and how we end up with massive risk. So that's what I think is more concerning.